Welcome back to another super awesome mix. My name is Matt Sidhom, alongside my co-host and co-founder of Super Awesome Mix, Sam Abousalbi. Sam, how you doing today?
Doing real well. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. You know, we're here today to, in a very funny way, I think, talk about the changing of the seasons.
Yes, it's funny. So I put together this mix, just off of the title, the fall mix. And then I realized that it was, I had thought that we were just going to do literally songs that kind of remind you of fall and autumn. But then I remembered that we talked about actually making it quite literally songs with the words fall or falling in them. And so I had to do like a double take on your songs. I was like, wait, wow, they all have fall in them. I was like, oh, right, I remember this conversation.
Yes, I think a couple years ago we did like an autumn mix, right?
Yes.
Specifically for the season. And this year we decided to just take it literally and just say, all right, let's look at songs with the word fall in some way, shape, or form in them, in order to kind of recognize the transition of seasons.
Absolutely, yes. No, it was a lot of fun. I actually enjoy these because two reasons. One, it's always entertaining to see what kinds of songs you can find whenever you search for a specific word. Two, it is actually easier in some regard to put together these mixes because you can just do like a quick search and just scroll through all the songs that have this word in them, which there are way more than I thought. But
there's a ton of them. There's
a lot of them. Yeah. I wonder what the most common song title is, actually. Now that I think
you mean word in a song title?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be something like love, right?
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yes.
So maybe the second most. Maybe that's the curiosity. The second most.
Yeah, no, but it was a good mix, and I really liked this. It's like an eclectic mix. We've got a lot of everything. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
I think so. Yeah, it was kind of fun because, like, you're right. It is a common word used in a lot of song titles. So as a result, we're able to put together a lot of different genres here from a lot of different time periods. So that was also fun. All right, so let's get the mix started. This is a very popular song with the word fall in it. It is Free Fallin' by Tom Petty.
Yeah, I'm not sure we've ever talked about this particular song in our like 5+ years of doing this show, which is amazing because, according to Rolling Stones, it's 179 on the 500 greatest songs of all time. So it's a song we certainly need to talk about on Super Awesome Mix. And obviously, we're working on our own 500 greatest songs mix probably at some point in the future. We're going to be as important, if not more important, than the Rolling Stone list, I would say.
That'll be one of those. Remember the old telethons that they used to do, like where they just like be, it'd be a 12-hour show in order to raise money for something.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do a 500 song mix, and it'll be a charity fundraiser, and we'll just be talking for 24 hours or something like that.
Yes. If you can stomach us for 24 hours, you might be paying to just get us to stop talking.
Yes.
But anyway, so Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, amazing song. What I really found interesting, and I didn't know this, I always love looking at these little fun facts about songs, but he initially was rejected when he submitted this song. So the producers didn't want to make this, recording studio wasn't interested. So he just waited 6 months and then resubmitted it with no changes. And they were like, oh my God, we love this song. This is great. And I just think that's so funny because I've had experiences like that in like English class. There was a teacher of mine. We had this whole writing workshop for 6 weeks. This whole thing that she put on. It was in 8th grade. She didn't like a piece that I submitted. So I literally just rearranged it and I didn't change anything. I just moved a couple of paragraphs here and there so it looked different, but it was the exact same paper. And then she loved it.
Yeah, Dana Carvey and David Spade have a podcast, and they talk a lot about their days on Saturday Night Live, and they talk about how people will kind of bring the same ideas week after week for sketches, and it kind of turns into this, didn't you do that 3 weeks ago? But like then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, that finally got on and it was a big hit or whatever. But they talk about how certain skits, like it took weeks of people just kind of continually running the idea up the ladder before it was like, all right, we're going to do it.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So, you might be sitting on a song as good as Free Fallin', and the first time is not going to go, but just keep trying. You never know. Maybe you're sitting on 179 of the 500 of the greatest songs of all time. And you just need to resubmit and give it a whirl. So, but yeah, it's a great song, obviously, and I have always enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Pretty simple song, like a lot of Tom Petty songs, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a 3-chord rock song, pretty straight ahead. I will always think of the scene in Jerry Maguire where he's just signed his star client and he's trying to celebrate. And it's like such a dated scene now because instead of like what we might do now, which is just go to our phone and find our favorite song and play it in celebration, he's just scouring the radio dial, trying to find a song that will help him kind of celebrate this moment. And he finally lands on Free Fallin', and it's just Tom Cruise in the car screaming Free Fallin'. But yeah, it's awesome, but also a very dated scene that I'm sure young people can't really understand.
Yeah, that's quite old now. All right, well, let's get on to your first pick, second track on the mix. It is The Boys of Fall by Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, so this one is both has the word fall in the title, but also is about the fall season, specifically about football. My best friend was a college football coach, and he passed away a few years ago. And we played this song as kind of part of a video tribute we put together for him. I think it's kind of an awesome song, just even without that emotional tie to it personally. I mean, just because if you love football, if you think about like high school football specifically, I mean, this one will kind of get you fired up for that. But I know it's a very country song. It's a little slow, so I wasn't really sure what your reaction would be to this one.
Yes, it was mixed. It was decidedly mixed. It only got a 3 out of 10 on my Olympic country.
I thought it might be a low score. Yeah,
it's a 3 out of 10 because it's so country. However, the points earned were nostalgia-based points because like you, I grew up in Texas. Texas is truly, I mean, football is a religion in that state. It's more than just a sport. There's so much ritual around football in the fall, especially in high school. If you're at a high school where you're a big like football school, it kind of dominates everything that you do. And so yes, just kind of I think he nails it. I think he nails kind of the culture of football. I love the line where he is talking about newspaper clippings fill the coffee shops and the old men will always think they know it all. I mean, that's like, I learned pretty quickly in my life that if I wasn't able to kind of small talk football, I wasn't going to go far in the state of Texas,
Well, especially if you're in a small town, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a small town and the people there have been there a long time, I mean, they remember every team, every great player that's rolled through there. I mean, not to always invoke Bruce Springsteen, but he's got a song called Local Hero. That's exactly about that phenomenon where it's like, somebody just becomes kind of a legend in their hometown just because they were the guy in high school, regardless of kind of where they went from there.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. So it was nice in that regard. So it earned some points there. It was good. It was nice in that way, but I'm probably not going to listen to it too much.
That's fair. I did not think so putting it on here, but I felt like I had to. Like this is the song I think when I think of fall, and it luckily had the word in it. All right, track 3, your next pick. It is Falling Water by Maggie Rogers.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorites from Maggie Rogers. We've talked about her before many times on the show. What's funny, again, learning these fun facts about these songs that I never realized, but she actually produced this with a member of Vampire Weekend, which once I read that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense because you can hear the influence. Like if you listen to a Vampire Weekend song, especially off their earlier albums, and then listen to this one, you can absolutely see the through line between the two. I love how the song builds. I love how she sounds on. I mean, she has an amazing voice. She's so talented in that regard. I love the bridge here where kind of the beat kind of disappears for a second, and it's just got this like hand clap in her voice. Like it's pretty, it's emotional. It almost like builds like you would imagine like falling water building. It's like it starts with a drip and then it turns into like just a fire hydrant of water. So I think it's really nice. It's a great track from her.
Yeah, I would agree. I really like this song. I think she uses water kind of literally and metaphorically in it, which I think is pretty cool. I love the line, "I never loved you fully in the way I could. I fought the current running just the way you would. And just the like, again, kind of the use of sort of water there, where it's like you kind of have this imagery, but also just, I think it's such a powerful line. I never loved you fully in the way I could. That could be done sort of in a hurtful way, but also in a regretful way too. Like I could see people, depending on kind of what their mindset is listening to the song, just getting wildly different emotions from it, which is really interesting. So just really well done. And I agree, she always sounds great. Like, we're big fans of her on this show. So yeah, it's a great track. This is not one I was familiar with previously, but really enjoyed it.
Nice. All right, this next track is one that I really enjoyed. This might be my favorite off of your picks, and it's "If I Ever Fall in Love" by Shy, and this is the a cappella version.
Yeah, so in the early 90s, around the time Boys to Men became popular, then like all of a sudden there were a number of kind of, almost in the same way a lot of boy bands popped up in the late 90s. It's like you had these R&B groups that were really into harmonizing and just, they could really sing. And Shy was one of those groups that kind of came and went. They had they had another hit called Baby I'm Yours. They also did a version of this with music. But I hadn't listened to this in a really long time, but I just love the a cappella version. I think they do such a great job. They sound amazing. And I think not having the music behind them kind of adds a little gravity to it, and just kind of gets it a little bit more emotional than I think even the version that's out there where they have some instrumentation behind them. But yeah, really cool to see, to revisit this song, because it was a big hit, I think, when I was younger, and also just kind of part of a movement at that time where you had a few of these groups out there.
Yeah, my first note here is that without looking at the song or the date that it was released, I knew it was from the early 90s. I just instantly knew. Because you're right, like that was absolutely a thing that was happening. Like, there was just all these groups. I think The Simpsons, because The Simpsons has an episode and everything. I think there's one called That 90s Show or something.
Yeah.
And they retell Homer and Marge meeting, but they do it in the 90s decade. And that's when he first joins a band. I believe it was this, when he joins a group that's like this, where he's like harmonizing. It's an a cappella group. Yeah. And then like he gets depressed and he basically founds Nirvana. Like he becomes he becomes all grungy and depressed, and then he's a band member. And that's when he sings Margarine instead of Glycerine by Bush. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah, that we've talked about on the show. So yeah, I knew it was from the 90s, but and so maybe that's why I liked it as much as I did. But you're right, like the a cappella version, I think, is just really powerful, and they do it really, really well.
All right, your next pick. It is "The Sky Is Fallen" by Queens of the Stone Age.
Yes, a major vibe shift for sure. So this was...
we have a lot of those, I feel like, in this mix. Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely like a mix where you're gonna go through a lot of emotions, probably different swings here and there. But so this is it's kind of funny. This was written in 2002, and Josh Homme, of course the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age, was feeling like the world was ending, and so that's and that things were like really hard. And as we all, are often so happy to report now that we're in 2025, everything is great. We've solved all those problems. We left them in the past. We fixed everything.
Yeah. It feels good. It feels good. Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah. It's nice to listen to these songs and, you're just like, oh man, can you imagine if you were stressed about the world right now? I mean, what must that feel like?
Yeah, my kids are going to look at me one day. Dad, were you ever worried about anything in the world? And I was like, no, not really. Maybe as a kid, but we kind of figured it out after a while.
Yeah, we figured it out. So that's number one. I'm so happy we solved all the problems. Number two, obviously, like I love how the song sounds, and this is off of the album Songs for the Deaf, and I think this actually is my favorite song off of the album, but I don't think it got a lot of playtime. Like the singles off of it obviously were like Go With the Flow and No One Knows, which are both excellent songs, but I'm going to go on record here, and I think this is actually a better song than those two. And I don't know, it's just really interesting. It shows more of their like musical ability, and yeah, just I love the song. It's been on repeat for a long time for me.
Yeah, that's an interesting kind of phenomenon you pointed out there, where it's like the biggest singles from an album maybe aren't the best song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another mix idea, I think, for future reference, kind of, legendary albums and the songs you may not know from them. Not to say this is a legendary album, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really strong rock song. Like they always kind of just bring it, right, when they're doing their music, and it's always, if you like rock music, you're going to enjoy it. I also appreciated at the end, they kind of had that, I mean, kind of longer than you would have thought, probably 30, 45 seconds of the sort of radio kind of
Yes.
talking thing at the end, which was kind of funny and just sort of broke it up a little bit. And I want to listen to it in the context of the album to see how it transitions to the next song.
Yeah, I think most of the songs on that album have like this like radio theme at the end of each one. Which again, I gotta say, like, they're fun whenever songs have these built-in kind of outros or skits. But whenever you're listening to it for like the 100th time, you're kind of like, okay, I can kind of do without this last. Like, I don't need this anymore. Please stop.
Tired of the bit. Tired of the bit. Just move on.
Yeah, I can't hear it anymore. All right, track number 6, a beautiful song. I feel like we've talked a lot about Celine Dion so far this year, more so than we have in any other year. But this is "When I Fall in Love," featuring Clive Griffin by Celine Dion.
Yeah, so this is not an original song. It was actually written and recorded originally in 1952, first by Jerry Southern, and then became popular later that year when Doris Day recorded it. Nat King Cole did a really popular version, and his daughter Natalie Cole would kind of integrate his voice recording with hers, and I think they won a Grammy in 1996 by doing that. But this version came around in 1993 as part of the soundtrack to the movie Sleepless in Seattle with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, if anybody remembers that one. Really interesting because at this point, Celine Dion is not nearly as popular as she would be just a few years later when you get the "It's All Coming Back to Me Now" and some of her kind of monster hits that would come later. So she was, I think, kind of on the rise at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Not quite at her apex. And then you have this voice with her, Clive Griffin, who does an excellent job on this song. He's got an amazing voice. But what's really funny is that in this same year, he put out his third and final album. He's put out 2 singles since then, and then nothing from a published work standpoint. So this is actually one of his last published works that's out there. And wow. He still works in music, does some songwriting and does some producing and stuff like that. But it's kind of like, from here, you don't really hear about Clive Griffin anymore, but obviously Celine Dion just takes off. Anyway, she's got an amazing voice, and this song, they just do a great job of just the changing voices and the duet, and it's really excellent, I think, the way they do this. And also kind of fits with the movie. If you go back and watch Sleepless in Seattle and then kind of apply this to it, it's really kind of perfect. So I had to include it here.
Yes, yeah, no, I like that movie. It's not as good as the, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the title. The one based in New York with the bookstores.
You've Got Mail.
Yes, You've Got Mail. I think
which
that
is
one
almost the exact same movie, but 5 years later.
Yeah, exactly. Emotionally shot for shot. Obviously different settings, different cities, different coastal cities, but emotionally you go through almost the exact journey. It's great.
Yes.
We talked a lot about winning formulas. And Nora Ephron had a winning formula, so why change it?
Yeah, well, and also Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan had to. I mean, they did Joe versus the Volcano. They did this one. They did You've Got Mail. Yeah, I mean, just keep going back to that well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Okay, speaking of just going back to that well, okay, your next pick. It is "Falling for You" by Weezer.
Yes, Weezer. We bring them up all the time, but this one is an interesting album. This is Pinkerton. I think it's one of their best albums before they went kind of more poppy. You can kind of hear more of the punky version of Weezer, and yet it's still a Weezer song, right? They still have that same sound that they continue now, almost 30 years later. Mm-hmm. But it's more, it's just a little bit more edgy. It's not as smoothed over as become a little bit later. So I really enjoyed it, but I love this album. I think also the subject matter here is funny because it's basically like this, he says, holy moly, wouldn't you know it? Just as I was busting loose, I got to turn in my rock star card and get fat and old with you. He's like almost remorseful that he, was like taking off as a rock star, and then he meets someone that he really likes and he's falling for. And so now he feels like he's just got to like turn in his rock star lifestyle and instead get fat and old with this person. So it's kind of funny. It's cute in that regard. But yeah, it's a great song, and I think that is an underrated album of theirs. It's really good. It's one that I can listen to without skipping.
I think it is underrated, and I kind of have the same note that it's just a perfect sort of like pop punk song that we love by Weezer. And we talk all the time about the sort of that Weezer filter where you're going to get kind of a little bit similar sounding, but it's a winning formula, like we just talked about, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. But yeah, I mean, this song especially, I just love the songwriting in this one. That it's just both sad and hilarious at the same time. I mean, the second verse where he's just, talking about losing the cello in the basement and then trying to play it, and he sucks at it. And it's like, right. It's such an absurd scene, but he also just sings it so seriously and emotionally that it's like, you really feel it. So, anyway, I really enjoyed this one, and I think you're absolutely right about the whole album here, that it definitely gets kind of lost in the shuffle amongst their catalog.
Definitely. Yeah, it definitely does. All right. Track number 8, another vibe shift. This one is kind of sad. So, have some tissues nearby, but it's Falling Slowly by Glenn Hansard and Marketa Irglova.
Yeah, this is from the movie Once, which became the musical Once, which I think was more popular than the movie, because I talked to someone a couple years ago who had just seen Once, and I said something about seeing the movie, and they were like, "It was a movie?"
That's awesome.
But these two, they had worked together. They called themselves Swell Season, and they wrote all the music for this movie, and they act in it as well, which is really cool, because all the scenes where they're playing all these songs, I mean, the movie like feels like a musical, because there are so many, moments in there where they are singing together and playing music. But this song actually won them an Oscar for Best Original Song in that particular year. But the Broadway production won like 8 Tonys. Like it was a monster hit. And I mean, you're Mr. New York, so I mean, you might be able to speak to just how popular it was. But I have never seen the musical. I've only seen the movie. But I've always loved this one. It's such a great song. The whole soundtrack, honestly, is awesome. And I had bought the soundtrack, and again had it for years before people were like, "Have you seen this musical?" Like, yeah. Wait, what about this? I have a CD that proves my street cred here as it relates to Once. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, you thought it was cool before they all did, so
way before.
That makes you super cool. It's a very pretty song. I was not familiar with anything you just mentioned. I didn't know about the movie. I didn't know about the musical. This is all news to me. And
you are in New York City, New York, USA, correct? Yes,
that's correct. I'm like 20-minute walk away from Broadway.
Okay.
I mean, technically, if you want to be technical, Broadway is just a street, but we're talking about Broadway. I get it.
Oh, I apologize. I was taking it too literally. Okay. You live near Broadway.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, but no, I thought it was a really beautiful song, but a very sad one, right? Like, take the sinking boat, point it home. We've still got time. Just kind of talking about this, like, this sense that I think is so universal. You can kind of be in a relationship and realize that it's not going to work. It's got a timeline on it, but you still have hope in a way, right? Like take the sinking boat, but still point it home. We still have time. So I think that is just incredible songwriting. And it sounds really pretty. It's a beautiful song.
Well, speaking of someone going through something, track 9, I Fall Apart by Post Malone.
Yeah, this is one of those ones, and this is probably very unique to me as a human being, but this is a song I never listened to the original version of. I only ever listened to remix versions of it because it came out around the time that I was a spin instructor. There was a really popular remix of this on SoundCloud. So I only ever heard it sped up. And so as a result, I never really listened to the lyrics. And so it wasn't until kind of this moment here in time, and it's like today I learned that this was a breakup song. Because I just never paid attention to the words. I just really liked how it sounded, especially when it's sped up. It's great. Like you can do a really good remix version of this song.
Sure. But the line "devil in the form of a whore" never really stood out to you. Did they skip over that?
Well, when it's sped up, it's just all kind of mush. It's like you're listening to like the chipmunk version of this song. Like it's how music was meant to be listened to, Matt. It's
okay.
In its
not gonna argue.
Form. with bass that blurs out everything, and with vocals that are sped up beyond recognition.
Got it.
Yes, no, but it's a heartbreaking song, right? I mean, it's quite literally a song about a breakup. The opening verse, like, she told me I'm not enough. She left me with a broken heart. Fooled me twice. It's all my fault. Obviously, I mean, it's so obvious now that this is a breakup song.
That was, I mean, my first note here is like, man, Posty's going through something here, like this is a tough one. It's for his music, I feel like this was a really emotional song. You don't get this kind of gut wrenchingness from him very much. Of course, I never heard any remixes, so I can't speak to your experience with the song, but mine, it immediately stood out to me as a breakup song. But also, like, this version has a pretty mellow beat in spite of it being, I think, really emotional lyrically. So I thought that was kind of an interesting kind of side by side with that. But yeah, pretty funny. You never kind of caught on to the breakup aspect.
I'm so bad about that. I'm so bad about listening to songs that in my head are categorized as one thing, and then it takes years sometimes for me to realize there's something completely different. Anyway, all right. Here is a band with another winning formula. We mention this all the time. Your next pick, track 10, it is Fallin by Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, this one was like an Apple Music bonus. Like, it's not even on like their straight ahead album. So any Spotify listeners out there, if you can't find the song, we apologize. But jump over to Apple Music and you can listen to it. Here's the thing. I'm not even sure exactly what this song is about, but it's weirdly inspiring, right? Like, it's got that emotion that they always bring to every song, where it's like every song's kind of a pump up song. Maybe that's why I just enjoy Imagine Dragons so much. You talked about that winning formula, but yeah, this one it's called Fallin', but I don't think anyone's falling here. I think everyone's kind of just on their feet by the end of it and ready to roll, because that's just what I imagine always happening with an Imagine Dragons song.
Yeah, it's got toe tapping energy, right? Like you
it sure does.
Yeah, you can bop along to this. Like this is the trap that I fall into all the time, right? Like this song is probably something like terrible, and we're sitting here being like, it's so fun. We need them to tell us. But one thing that really made me laugh, there was a comment on the lyrics page, and someone said, all I can hear is I'm falling. Like, I'm falling, instead of we are fallen. And similar to this person's experience, the song is not ruined for me, but I can never hear "We Are Fallen" again. All I'm hearing is him being like, I'm falling, which is really fun. So there you go.
Yeah, because if you're truly falling, if it was an accidental fall, you probably wouldn't be saying "we." Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Not going to speak for everyone. All right, your last pick, it is called, and it's funny, we did this. Both of our last picks are just called Fall, but yours is Fall by Chloe and Halle.
Yes, I did not know this duo, so my last pick, I wanted to pick a group that I didn't know at all, and I'm so happy I found them. They're sisters. Their voices are gorgeous. I really like the subject matter of this song, like lyrically. It's basically just trying to find the positive even in the negative, right? Something that I talk a lot about on my show, and just something that's like a theme in my life. But they sound almost like operatic in this song. Like they just have beautiful voices. So I think that paired with, the hopefulness, like them singing, so what if the sky falls? We'll build a life right on the cotton clouds. And I just think that's like such beautiful imagery. So yes, it's a very nice song, and they're really talented. And I was happy to kind of close out my mix with this one.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the musical once earlier, and I mean, this could be from a musical. Like, it was just so well done with their. You're right, their voices. I love the piano. It's just so powerful, and then I wrote down the hopefulness as well. Like, it was just amazing. So, I just love this. I want this to be part of some musical someday and see people acting this out because. It's just really good. And I have no sense of who these people are either, right? Like, never heard of them before. Just kind of hit play on this and really loved it.
Yeah, same. Like, I knew I was going to like it the second I hit play. It just kind of hooks you really quickly. And I definitely think the piano play has something to do with that too. All right. Our last vibe shift here, because it's another one, but our last one here. And like you mentioned, this song is just called Fall, but this is by none other than Eminem.
Yeah, I kind of like looked at my mix and I was like, my whole mix is a little slower than what I normally bring to the table and not as fun. And I was like, let's have some fun here with this last one. Eminem, this one's off the 2018 album Kamikaze. And just so many great, like always, so many great lyrics that he's put together here. I mean, these rappers are like Hunger Games. 1 second they're mocking Jay. Which is great. Little Jay-Z reference there, but also a literary one.
Yeah.
In referencing Tyler, the Creator, he says, "You worship D12's balls. You're sacrilegious." Yes. That's so good. That's so well done.
Yeah. And amazing, then finally, track writing.
Yes. And then finally, you probably can compare me to your car because I'm barely getting started. Which is like kind of pumping himself up. And dissing this guy's car at the same time, which I thought was amazingly done.
Yeah, that's a tough one to pull off, to do that simultaneously.
I
agree with you.
Anyway, I thought it'd be good to have a little fun with Eminem here to finish off the mix.
Yeah, I have two thoughts that I want to share on this track. I enjoyed it, same as you, because of his lyric writing. And, I love a good diss track, as we've talked about this year. But his opening lines are him just literally, speaking. He says, everyone's been telling me what they think about me in the last few months. Maybe it's time I tell them what I think about them. And I really want to be like, Eminem, come on. You tell us all the time what you think about people. All the time. Like, this is not... This is not like, oh, he's so reserved about his opinions. He's going to really open up to us on this track. Like, come on, man. Like, he's been sharing his thoughts about people since day one.
This would be funny because neither one of us knows Eminem personally, right? And it would be really funny if in real life he's like super passive aggressive. And then it's not until these tracks that these guys are like, what? He never said anything. I don't.
He was at my birthday party last week. He bought me a toaster. It was
texted me
and
about
it was a really nice toaster.
Yeah, he texted me about going to lunch. Like, we were going to hang out. Like, just what the.
But on the flip side here, again, not, about the same topic of not really knowing Eminem. So this also features Bon Iver's lead singer, which is a really interesting collab, right? His voice is really interesting. It's like a pairing with Eminem. But he was really upset because like he did his recording without knowing the lyrics that were going into the song. Eminem, as he is very often to do, uses a slur here. And Bon Iver, the lead singer, disavowed his kind of voice being on the track. And I just want to ask this human being, like, what did you think was going to happen? Right?
Look, good for you. You want to disavow like your association with this track, whatever. But that's kind of on you.
A little bit, right? Like, I don't want to victim blame.
I'd say terrible. A lot bit. I'd say a lot bit. He's not the victim. No, this is a lot bit on him. Like, Eminem calls you. Like, that's like if we had Eminem on the show, right? And then like we're like, oh my god, and we promote it and everything, and then afterwards we're like, oh look, he said some things that just don't align with our value. It's like we could have said that from the beginning.
Yeah. Exactly. This is not some unknown entity where you're shocked that he does this. Like, this is a very known fact about it. He's been using these slurs and he's been very offensive and over the line his entire career. And so, yes, I kind of want to be like, come on, man, as they do on SportsCenter.
Well, and like you're in Bon Iver, like you're doing okay. It's not like this was like, hey man, I needed a break and I just took this gig.
Right.
It's like, no, you could have just said no. Like, I'm good, man. I don't think this is gonna go my way.
Yeah.
But he was probably like, awesome, I get to work with Eminem. And then people were like, do you realize what he said? And it's like,
well, I just had no idea. I
guarantee the other guys in the band are like, well, you're an idiot. Like, hey, come on. If those guys are truly friends, the other guys in the band are like, you're a moron. Go ahead and apologize, make your statement, but you're a moron.
Oh man, good times.
All right, well, there you have it. Another super awesome mix for your collection. This one, maybe not about the season of fall, but certainly includes the word fall. So hopefully it will keep you company during the change of seasons here. In spite of all the changing of seasons, we've got plenty of mixes to work on. Tell us what we should be planning for 2026. We're starting to put that list together, okay? At Super Awesome Mix on Threads and on Instagram. And then, of course, check out all our videos on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Leave us a good review. All those things, okay? Help us out. Help the show. But we'll keep working on our next mix. So for Sam, this is Matt. We'll see you next time.